Master. Welcome. I cannot imagine yoga without the breath component. Actually, it's one of the elements why it's called yoga. Uniting various elements in the practice, not just the breath, but of course later on as you meditate, uniting all the subtleness of your energy inside the body and allow it to unite with the grace of the universal energy coming from the outside. But yes, it's uniting forces, uniting elements of our existence. And one of the easiest way to really feel this principle is actually uniting the breath as we perform the technique and the body and the sensation. And that is the topic of this discussion. I will be sharing with you a meditation and a breathing regulation method you could practice at home. It's one of the most meaningful ways for us to feel the subtleness of the energy. It has many healing benefits, especially when you practice this regularly, as well as it gives that inner peace and calm. I'm talking about the alternate nostril breathing with retention or without retention if you are still in the beginning stages of the practice, or the Nadi Shodhana. Right. Even the scripture says it's one of, actually I think it's only the breathing method mentioned, to feel the grace and benefit from the grace of the energy or the spirit. Alright, I've posted a while back the basic technicalities of the Kriya or the method, but for today, aside from that, of course, we have to run through them. I will be sharing with you some principles on how we could actually reinforce the method and then really invoke the spirituality of the process, because for me that's really very important in all things we do in yoga. It has to serve our purpose inside. The beauty of the heart can allow the radiance of the energy not only to serve us, but also to serve the community as a whole. Alright, so the basic method is the right thumb will clip the right nostril. You're going to press it firmly and then inhale the breath or the gaseous air through the left. And then hold a bit, not really a pause, but just a gentle clip, like you want to just hang the top of the inhalation. And the ring finger of the same hand blocks the left nostril, and then exhale slowly but generously through the right side. And then you're going to inhale the breath through the right, hang and sustain, clip, and exhale through the left. So this is the basic pattern. Alright, so some technicalities involved. The spine would have to open because the spine is the channel where the energy flows. Aside, of course, the left and the right channel. So the spine is like the centerpiece of the practice. Next is really feel the flow of our energy. Although we're breathing the air through the left, for example, you're blocking the right nostril. Although you're breathing to the left, actually, the reason why we block it, the energy itself has its inherent action inside, but to further us to develop the skill of directing the breath through flow, through different parts of our body, the gentle blocking of the nostril will pave the way for the creation of a gentle suction. Although this is open, yes, definitely the breath will rise there. But since you're blocking this side, this creates a gentle suction. So you can further allow the breath, not just to flow here, but allow the breath to flow to the opposite direction. Because as you form the suction, inevitably, organically inside, you're actually directing the breath to crisscross to the other side. So when you wanted to investigate or really feel that manifestation, you may want to try this technique. Let me just lift myself so you can see. So the hand, the left hand, can you just slightly feel and then place the hands down the grooves of your ribs there. Good. And then perform the technique. So the right thumb blocks the right nostril. And as you keep the hand there, now feel the energy, feel the breath. When I say the breath, I mean the sensation. as you inhale through the left. And then hold it. Let's hold it for like a few seconds. Keep it up. Place your hand here, left and right. And then you can even feel the bottom ribs. And ring finger blocks the left, and exhale the breath through your right, and then feel this side, what happens here. And keep your hand there. Now inhale through the right. Now feel the left as you feel your right as well with that. Clear? Exhale. Do you notice now how the breath actually goes in the opposite direction? That's the reason why, when we inhale to the right, the left side, since the energy flows to the right, and when you exhale to the right, you allow that side to soften, and you can actually feel it melted. All right. So the purpose of that one is, since the next topic would be retention. The purpose of that one is, since you allow the breath to go to that direction, the opposite side, you will actually use that breath now to further the cleansing or the purification process of that side. So when you exhale that side, you allow all the blockages, the internal blockages, your nadis inside hold or the inner body hold to dissolve. So when you reverse the process, when you inhale through the right, the energy flows to the left, and you hold it there and let it hang a bit there until all the nadis there absorb the prana, and exhale. And that one softens. So our energy inside our body has its inherent behavior of crisscrossing. Actually, it spirals like that. So as the energy rises up, it goes the direction of like a spear. So as it goes up to the direction of that, it makes its way and hit those blockages of our inner body or the nadis. All right. Now, the next is retention. All right. So the reason why we retain the breath is so that we could fully utilize the healing property of the grace, the in-breath, the gaseous air, because the air that we inspire actually possesses the healing force. All right. And at that healing force, when it enters the body, and once you retain it, somehow the nadis or the energetic channels inside will absorb the healing energy. All right. And it's somehow the nadis are actually like the conductors. Of course, the bandhas would have to work as well to keep the confinement light, because if you just, for example, hold it, it's like inside you're still lifting the breath up through the bandhas, because you're creating that support coming from the energy locks. But of course, if your energy locks are not yet fully developed, just retain it as much as you can handle the pressure. The reason why we start to build the pressure is that our breath, it possesses this healing force, but when the nadis, or the energy channels, are not fully open or cleansed, it won't be as efficient absorbing the prana out of that gaseous air. That is why the reason when the body, when the prana absorbs what it can inside, then the air becomes stale, because nothing there will be able to absorb the healing force. And then when it becomes stale, that's the reason why we build the pressure. And definitely, we have to release the pressure. So when you do this method, retain it just as long as you can, comfortably. Actually, you still it feels like inside you're still breathing, something like that. So there should be no pressure. The lungs and the heart are relaxed inside as you retain. And then when it becomes heavy, since your nadis have fully absorbed the prana, it somehow takes the prana away from that gaseous air, and the prana is left, or the energy is left inside the body, and then you release the old one out. Yeah, so this is the healing force of this technique. You are already cleansing the opposite side. You allow the breath to flow to that side while you hold it. You do the cleansing, because as you hold it, somehow the energy or the air, the element will hit through the blockages, physically or internal, and at the same time you allow the energy to be absorbed by your energetic channels or the nadis. Alright, now, so that alone is very meditative. So now you're uniting the mind, you're uniting the body, and uniting the energy. Alright, but that's never it. This breathing method for me is the most important, because this is the base of all meditative and even the most challenging breathing regulation or meditation method you will be performing later on, if the calling is there. It is now when you become so attuned with your energy locks, and the energy locks are strong enough to withstand longer retention, and now you will be able now to filter more nadi, or filter more energy, or filter more prana out of the air that you take, that you inspire, and together with the own energy you produce inside the body, you will develop actually the skill of uniting these two energetic forces. Right. So which brings me to the next topic, which is uniting the grace coming from the outside and our own grace, our own energy, which we harness from the inside of the body. And as we inspire the air in with all its healing properties, and as we lift our own energy up, because our own energy, our primal energy, yeah, I'm talking about Kundalini. Well, if you're just starting with the practice, some of its radiance will manifest. If your Kundalini is so strong already, you can actually feel it manifest, and you can actually direct that using the bandhas to rise up. Now, these two forcing actions, yeah, the prana vayu coming from the outside, it's light, it's soothing, it's calm, it's life-giving, and our own primal energy, which is apana vayu, hot, restless, and strong. You don't want to be holding too much of that, so you allow, when you do the technique, as the air comes in, or as the inspiration comes in, you are as well lifting your own energy up. Remember, our own energy has its rising behavior, so it will assert its way up. Yeah, and then of course that's one of the reasons why we practice the asanas, we practice the cleansing work, so that we could allow the body to open, to make room for our energy to rise. Yes, because you don't want to be holding too much of that, otherwise the excess energy you hold inside the body will manifest as blockages. It's not good as well, so it's not good to be holding too much. So this breathing method somehow balances the forces inside our bodies, and this is really very deep. This will not only affect you physically, not just your wellness, not just your health, but also it will give you that sense of peace and quiet, and really calm inside. Good. So how do we actually manifest that and allow that to unite, or two forces to unite inside the body? Yes, there is actually a point where they unite and they dance, and this is the point between the two big ribs here, the hollow spot. Good. Although that point actually originates from the very pit of the hips, if I may. That point actually starts rear, the very root, and then you will be able to relate with me if your Kundalini energy is awakened and your bandhas are too strong. You can actually use the bandhas now, and allow that energy, the primal energy, to rise up here. But it's very dominant here. Although the mouth of that Sushumna is called the central canal, starts here. the manifestation could be felt here. Yeah. So when you inhale, even if you don't do the alternate nostril breathing, when you inhale, all right, these are just external manifestation. What I'm trying to pinpoint, or what I'm trying to emphasize, is inward. Yeah, inward. But of course, when you're watching a tutorial like this, it's nice to have like a structural image of what is really happening in the body. But these are all inner manifestations feeling inside. I don't want you to be caught up with this idea that you have to really make your tummy thin. No. It's really inside. It's just that I could do it externally. Now, when you allow the breath to come in, with it coming from the nostrils, and your skill of drawing your own energy up, right? The air coming from the outside will go down here, and the energy coming from the base will rise up here, and then at that point they unite. Now, I call this like the kingdom, the kingdom of energy. Yeah, and this is where it gets really calm and soothing, when you allow the two energetic forces to just rest and dwell here. It's the heart space, and it's calm, it's peaceful, quiet, and happy. All right. So the heat and the hot and the warm nature of your own energy, you lift that up, and the soothing, cold, and relaxing energy from the outside, you inspire, and then they blend here, and they will produce this beautiful sound inside. All right, the sound could be heard. It's the humming sound, and it's also the principle of the Ujjayi. But as you inspire the air from the outside, and as you draw the air from the inside of the body up, they will meet here and they dance here. All right. Now, when you do that with the alternate nostril breathing, it becomes even more profound, deep, and meaningful. Why? Because not every one of us would have this, I would say, higher awareness, because the bandhas would have to be developed for us to draw it up. Yeah. With your suction, you're actually assisting your bandhas, even if you are not feeling them yet manifest. Yeah, this gentle suction, aside from directing the energy to flow and crisscross, you're actually helping yourself with the technique. So we now could develop the skill of using the suction to allow the air to come in. Of course, you're breathing in, and the suction now will help you and assist you feel it from the inside. Yes, let me be clear with that. Inside to rise up, and then when you retain it, just as long as you can hold the pressure, you can still actually feel, when you're retaining it, while you're hanging and suspending it, some elements are actually could be felt, creeping up inside the body, right? Real sensation creeping up, like bubbles, like pockets of air making their way up as you inspire, as you retain. And then you're using involuntarily, because you're performing a gentle suction, you're actually assisting your throat lock, even if you're not fully developed in the throat lock. This technique somehow assists you in lifting your energy up. Yeah, so the inspiring is easy because it's a natural behavior that when you inhale it goes down. But the difficult part is really how to draw our own energy up, because it will require some forms of inner core dynamics. But with the technique of alternating them, this one helps you to create that gentle suction so you can draw the breath out. So yes, so many things that we could realize and manifest and benefit from this Kriya, from this method. Yeah, both health and wellness. Definitely, you're doing your internal cleansing there. So it releases not just physical stress, it releases all the psychic blockages we hold, even the pains we inflict ourselves, not just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all the stresses from work, school, when you perform this one, it somehow alleviates all the heaviness of the body. Right. So the retention should be performed with readiness. If you're not ready doing the retention, you just alternate it. But before you change, just hold it up a bit. So you keep it rising and exhale. But when you exhale, you don't collapse the spine. Somehow you want to keep the spine open. And don't worry about the next, because you are helping yourself, throwing your next inhalation up together with the suction. If your bandhas are strong enough and you're ready to sustain retention, maybe start like 8 counts first. 1008, 1007, and down the line. And then clear, same, exhale, and then inhale. Yeah, and when you become very light with that, you can actually hold it up to 16 beat retention, or you're counting 1016, 15, 1014, so on and so forth till 1001. All right. So how long? Start easy, 3 minutes. All right. After 3 minutes, maybe after 2 weeks, increase it to maybe like 6 minutes, 7 minutes. And then another, after 4 weeks, increase to 11 minutes, and so on and so forth, until you're able to, in one session, sustain it for like 30, 31, 32 minutes, around that time. So it's about 27 cycles. Right, 27 cycles. And yes, it's really very healing, physically, mentally, and emotionally. All right. Of all the breathing methods out there in yoga, this one is, for me, the most fulfilling, and the most meaningful, and the most serving, because it's easy to perform. There are progressive way of doing it. So even if you're still beginning with the practice, you can enjoy the benefit and work progressively. All right. One more thing. Definitely, you just don't jump straight to the breathing method. Somehow you have to perform some movements, because the body is tight, inherently. So the breath will not be able to flow if, for example, you like that. So somehow you have to allow your spine to energize. So maybe do some side stretches like that, some twist. If you're confident with your Surya Namaskar or some salutation, or perform some gentle asanas. And then after that, when the body is open, you can do this method. And after this, you might want to perform another round of releasing methods, because the body gets too tight sitting like this, so somehow you gotta allow the body to go open again. So what do you want to do now is maybe do like this, some gentle get stretches, and maybe bind or thread one arm under, and then really suit your own structure. Or you can just lie down, or do some twist there, lying down twist, this one, that one, and then you change. Or maybe circle around like that, all right? Or you might lift the legs up and allow your legs to drain, because you've been sitting for long, so you might want to drain the legs. And after that, you might perform a gentle relaxation, or a short relaxation after. Or if you want to meditate longer, you might do that as well. But this alone is already a good meditation. All right, yes. So yoga is more than the physical, really. Even the physical would have to be moved with the breath. Otherwise, there's no point. Yoga is uniting the forces that we hold inside and the forces coming from the outside. And then when we allow all these forces to just nourish us inside, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, that's where the healing benefit of the practice happens. Right, so yes, keep your practice going. No matter how basic it is, no matter how advanced it is, suit your own nature, suit your need, and of course, given your personal present circumstances. And I'll see you in the next tutorial. Have a lovely day. Namaste.